hands align. In red and white they always shine. With every pass it feels divine. Arsenal's on my mind. From hybrid days to Emirates grand, each match a symphony perfectly planned. With every goal we take our stand. Arsenal's on my mind.
Welcome back to the Arsenal on My Mind podcast. With you, as always, tonight, Mr. Spike and Mr. Sekijay. What's up, man?
Well, I mean, what can I say?
You can say
First
we
I'll start with my little rant. I think that was a penalty on Aina.
okay, but there
But
wasn't a lot of protests from the players for it because it
yeah,
wasn't.
but
No one even saw it.
yes, but I think it was a penalty.
I agree,
Um, because he used his hands to kind of move the ball so it doesn't go to the corner.
but it still went for a corner.
Well, I don't know. I think it's a penalty.
I, mean, I
But
think I think I think what I really think the VAR did there was because he had his teammate right next to him.
okay.
It was like right there on his side. If he didn't use his hand on the ball, his teammate was like right there to get it. Then it hit his shoulder first, then hit his hand, then still went off for a corner either way. I think they were like, you know what, just too many, you know.
Well, I mean, this VAR they need to get it right. We need to know what the rules are,
Yeah,
and we need to stick to it.
of course.
All this using discretion, you cannot use discretion in one scenario and use your discretion in another scenario. I mean, that's not
The
that's
only
messy.
solution, right, to this VAR problem is if somehow it's the same VAR doing every single game, which is not possible. You see, when you
Well,
have these. Hmm?
we should get AI to start doing the VAR.
I knew you were gonna say that. Make it AI. That way it
Yeah,
can
make
be
it
one
AI
of
because
the
at least
time.
because some of these guys love to hate Arsenal, and
I don't think it was a hate thing. I mean, it wasn't
I
clear and
don't think
obvious.
so, but I just think AI is going to be dispassionate about it
Of course.
and neutral.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
then fans aren't gonna like that. Fans don't like things being automated. They like you know,
I mean,
elements.
I mean that's I mean, but that aside,
Hmm.
it was a poor performance,
Pretty poor.
especially from our front three. Um, I mean, I don't know why Saka did not start this game.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I was surprised because, we have a lot of gap between our game. He didn't start the last game against well, he did actually start the Chelsea game, didn't he? But either way, I was surprised he didn't start. I mean, if you want to rest him, you should start him and take him off, right? But like I said before, I've said it before many times, we don't play well when Odegaard doesn't play well. And that's what it always boils down to.
But that's a problem, and
Hmm.
I as much as I would like to blame Arteta for this game,
Hmm.
I think is on the players.
Of course.
The players did not turn up.
Hmm.
They didn't show up. They didn't take advantage of. And you see, this is what I was saying. If City had won,
Hmm.
Arsenal would have come out with a little bit more urgency.
Right,
You see,
hmm.
but because City did not win, the boys, you see that mentality I was talking about, that we will win this league if City keeps the pressure on us.
Right, right.
You see, if every other team falters, Arsenal is just going to limp to the finish line, basically. We're
Hmm.
not gonna steamroll or run with it. Now, I don't expect us to steamroll every team. I don't expect. I mean, yes, Nottingham Forest and any Sean Dyke's team is a tough team,
Hmm.
to play. That he's basically the what's that guy's name? The Everton's
Allardyce.
Allardyce. He's basically the Allardyce of this era.
Hmm.
But that being said, all we needed to do was win that game.
Hmm.
You know, we're still 7 points top. That might change by tomorrow to 4 points
Hmm.
if Aston Villa wins their game.
They probably will.
Yeah, so that might
Hmm.
change to 4 points. Now I'm not too worried about Aston Villa, but if we sleep, If we keep slipping up and we
Hmm.
and we snooze, you never know. They
Yeah,
can just flip it on us
yeah,
and
yeah.
and and go top. So
Hmm.
I still think our destiny is in our hands.
Of
Um, but
course.
but the
Mhm.
boys need to play. They need to play with a little bit more urgency. Saka should have started that game. It's a
Right.
big game. I think Arteta got it wrong. He shouldn't have started Saka in the midweek. He should have started Saka today. As far as I'm concerned, today was a bigger game than midweek.
Well, you're right. It was a big game, but it only got bigger after the City results, which I predicted that Man U would have something to say about that game.
You did. You
Yeah,
did.
and so in light, I think perhaps it was fine starting Saka in midweek, but I think the minute you see that Man City lost, you must change what your plan is going to
You
be
must
and
change your
start with
plans.
Saka.
Yeah, you must go
But
for the dragon.
yeah, but I will say this, like I mean, Madueke, like we've discussed just the last episode, he's not a huge drop off from Saka, so I don't think
No,
it's a huge problem, right?
it wasn't a huge problem, but
Right.
you see, what message are you passing? This is a game that we had a big opportunity to go 9 points clear
Mm-hmm.
after 22 games,
Mm-hmm.
9 points clear. You know, put your big players in there, put your stars in there, and let them have something to say about it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. I would
You
have
know,
started Saka, if not just
when I saw
for.
Martinelli in the team sheet, I was like, oh my god,
I'm
why?
telling you, man,
Put
Martinelli
put
in the Prem
he,
is
he should have. If
atrocious.
anything, if Trossard was not fit enough to start the game,
Hmm.
put Eze there. That game was calling for Eze,
True.
or put
Hmm.
Madueke there, put
Yeah.
Saka. You
Yeah.
know, but I don't want to blame Arteta at the end of the day because our midfield still did their job.
Hmm.
Our defense did their job.
The
It
defense
was
did the job.
yeah.
Midfield was shaky because Odegaard didn't have his best game and
Odegaard
Signal
didn't
didn't have
have
his
his
best
best
game.
game, but
Hmm.
but Rice had a good game.
As always, though, he says this thing
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. Rice had a good game. Zubimendi was decent, but
Hmm.
our front three
Hmm.
just let us down today. They,
Yeah.
they there was they went well. I would say front four, including Odegaard.
Yes, front four is more accurate. I would agree because yeah, Odegaard just didn't. I don't have any. He didn't even touch the ball that many times, which is pretty unusual. I mean, he had 27 touches in the game. I mean, that seems like a low number for Odegaard. Like in comparison, um, what am I looking at here? Uh, Timber had 46. So he had
Hmm.
more, so Odegaard should touch the ball more than Timber for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Timber for the first time today. Um, he didn't have his best game.
Yeah, and it's because Mikel had him playing this weird, like, cent not center back, but it's like
It was like a holding midfielder
yeah, it's like a holding in front. Yeah, it was really weird, and he hasn't looked comfortable ever since we put him on on the left back.
on the left.
Yeah, and
Well, well,
but it's so weird because he started his career on the left, like I said before. But
well. He's met some. I mean, he played against Estaval.
hmm.
Today was Hotse. Those guys are quick. They are skillful. So I mean, he he came up against very very skillful and quick wingers. You
Yeah, but
know,
that to me, that's not an excuse because, and you have to like you're saying about Mikel not blaming him, right? I mean, yeah, Forest are like one one place above relegation, right? So they're not having a good season by most accounts. Yeah, they're home and they're tougher at home. I get all that, but the players that were on the field should have been enough. We
there
can
should have
bit,
been
yeah,
enough. I
exactly.
agree.
We can bitch
But
and moan about
one
anything else,
one
but there should have
player
been enough.
one player I saw on the Nottingham Forest team sheet, and I was like, "Oh my God, is this the game he had to come back?" Was Aina? You
Oh
see
yeah.
that guy is underrated.
He's really good. He almost
He's
left
very
them
good.
last season.
He's You'll be surprised to find out that he was one of the big missing piece at the first half of this season for Nottingham Forest,
I
and that's
agree.
why they struggled.
Him and Wood.
Yeah, him and Chris Wood.
Hmm.
I know. And he showed his quality today. He kept our attackers quiet. You
Hmm.
know, especially Martinelli and Trossard because They were playing in his wing. He's a right back.
Right.
But it was all in all, it was a we had an opportunity and we let it slide. So I mean, I still see it as a point gained,
Hmm.
not 2 points dropped, because if someone had told me at the beginning of the season that after 22 games we'll be 7 points clear, I'll rip the person's arms off. So
Right.
so I can't complain too much about that. But it's
Yeah. No,
frustrating because
mhm.
Arsenal is showing, giving, or rather giving the opponents and our title contenders, our challengers, hope, and we shouldn't give them hope.
Right. We
You
should
know,
I mean, between the Liverpool game and this game, we would have been out of sight if we had won
yeah,
both games,
yeah, yeah. We would have been 12 points clear or 11
Yeah,
points.
exactly. So it's disappointing for sure. I just think for me, the game, started aside, I mean, Martinelli, I really took up how I feel about him. I don't want him starting in the Premier League at all. Right off the
Yeah, I
bench
don't.
is
I don't.
great, you know.
Yeah, he should
And
have
so
buried that sitter.
it was a big call to bench both our starting wingers, right? Maybe one, if you had kept Trossard in and then, you know, have Saka off the bench or Saka started and just like, one way or the other, I think Mikel maybe, should have kept one of the wingers in from like his normal starters. But either
Correct.
way, I just think
Then you take Gyökeres off and you bring in Jesus. No, no,
why
bring in
not?
bring no 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 no. That game was a Kai Havertz kind of game.
Yeah, but Havertz is still working, through fitness.
How many minutes? Give him a few minutes. Because we had the wingers, but we didn't. Then you take out Gyökeres and put Jesus, that is what, under 6 foot tall. We put Havertz there. You know,
Right.
and I think he should have taken Odegaard off when he took Martinelli off, and pass a message and
I see.
bring Eze at the beginning of the second half. But it was just an all around disappointing day. It was very, very flat, very poor from our attackers, and my player ratings is going to say it all.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only positive I could take from the game is that, we're 1 point further away from City, right? And in a way, watching that game, I always knew that I was like, listen, we ain't gonna lose the game. I know we're not gonna lose the game. I was pretty confident about that. But I was like, we need to find a way to like sneak. And we had a lot of corners too, and the corners weren't working. And the goalie did make some great saves, Marcel's.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
there are
So
reasons as to why you can point to, but
yeah, he
ultimately,
showed
poor
he showed
results
why.
from the team. Nobody gets over a 7 when we do a rating. There's no way. And but Odegaard, that's 2 games in a row where he's looked pretty average. I don't know, after he seemed like he had picked up his form against Aston Villa, he's just
Yeah,
dropped
but
off
that's
again.
because Martinelli, or rather Arteta, is not being brutal with Odegaard.
Right.
I don't know if it's because he's the captain, but um, creates the same way he's creating competition in other position, creates that competition with Odegaard.
I mean,
You know,
I think perhaps I think maybe in all fairness, he thought he had that with Eze, right? Eze being on top form, he would bench Odegaard in a heartbeat.
that's what I'm saying. Creates if Eze is Odegaard is not playing well, put Eze in. If
Hmm.
Eze is not playing well, put Wanyeri in.
Yeah, true.
But I was telling one other Arsenal fan today, Arteta is still scared, but if when we bite the league this season, his tactics he's gonna be a little bit more adventurous next season.
Right.
But this season he's trying to be very controlled, and just control his way to the Premier League, which I understand because of the past 2 seasons, but it was just an all-round disappointing day. And I think I would just give my player ratings now. Um, what's his name? Raya, 7. He did. I don't think he had too much to do,
Hmm.
but when it was called on, he was there. So 7. Ben White, 6. I don't think he played badly, but
Hmm.
him and Madueke don't have the same chemistry that he has with Saka.
It looks good at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, well,
Hmm.
what's his name? Saliba 7. I think Saliba still looks good,
Right.
regardless. Gabriel 6. He was a bit shaky today. Timber 6. Today was one of the worst games I've seen him play in a long
Hmm.
time. Rice 7. Could have easily been 8.
Hmm.
He did his job. Zubimendi 6. Odegaard 5. It can easily be 4 if I think too much about it.
Right.
Um, what's his name? Saka. Oh no,
Madueke.
Madueke 6. You have to, you know, we need more productivity. More end product. He
Right.
was producing, but the end product wasn't there.
Right.
So 6 for him. Gyökeres 5. Um, what's his name? Martinelli 4.
Whoa.
Just for I
For that
can I
miss?
mean, if you complain too much now, I'll give him 2.
For that miss? Look of the
Yeah,
miss?
the miss, and just his ball IQ is just poor.
Okay.
Saka 7.
Hmm.
He came off the bench, looked good.
Yep.
Um, that header, pulled a great save out of Marcel's.
Yeah.
So 7 for Saka. Um, who else? Merino 6. He didn't do much. I didn't see what he did much.
Yeah.
Trossard 6. Arteta for me, I'll give
What
Arteta
about Jesus and Eze?
the no impact
No impact.
5.
Oh, five.
Um,
Mm,
yeah,
not
5
not no
each.
impact, but five. Okay.
Yeah. What's his name?
Mikel? Hmm.
Arteta 5.
Five. All right. Okay. Well, brutal but fair. Brutal but fair. My ratings are, pretty similar. Maybe not as brutal as yours, but I think look, actually, who's your player of the match, if it matters?
Rice.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, yeah. So my ratings are pretty standard. I gave Raya 7.
My player of the match is Marcel's.
No player of the match deserved. Um, I gave White 7, Saliba 7, Gabriel 7, Timber 6. I give Raya 7. I think the defense was pretty good today. Besides Timber and his random positions, I think this, defense was pretty solid. No shots given up. I don't think any shot on goal. I don't think so. In the midfield, I gave Zubmendi a 6. I mean, I see it could have been a better game. And his new role is working for him. His box to box role is really working for him. But it was a poor version of it today. 6 for him. Rice, I give him a 7. Odegaard, I give a 6. Should be lower when I think about it. I'm gonna drop it down to a 5 actually, because this wasn't he wasn't asking for the ball. He wasn't pressing. He wasn't doing a lot of things today. Um, I give Madueke a 7. I thought he played well. He was the most dangerous player, most likely to get us to create a goal, I think, in the game. I gave Gyökeres a 5, which is really unfortunate for him to go from a man of my performance down to a 5. I gave Martinelli a 5 as well. Just that front three, well, I guess I gave Madueke a 7, so there's that. Off the bench, I gave him all 5s except Saka. I gave a 6. Now, it should have been should be a 7, but I hardly give. If he didn't score, actually, he came off the bench. You know what, Saka? Enjoy your 7. So 7 for him, but 5 for everybody. Eze, Jesus, Marino, Trossard, all of them get 5s. Just no real big impact. Eze, I don't know. I mean, he came on, could have had a chance right away as it came on. But after that, I forgot he was on the pitch. I forgot Marino was on the pitch. Um, Trossard, he always tries, but Trossard is it's just like it's interesting because it's very obvious that he plays better when he starts, and Martinelli was off the bench. It's just like, so there's never any reason to ever switch it, and it's never ever, let's keep it the way it is, the way it should be. Mikel, I give it 6. Like I said, I didn't like his starting lineup, but then come on, these guys are not like, Sunday league players. They're still really good, and it should have been enough. My thing is, if you were going to rotate, maybe rotate just one of those wingers. Nobody would have been mad if you put in Jesus over Gyökeres that game to start. Nobody would have complained about it. But when you make a bold statement of taking out your 2 best wingers, and then you don't win the game, everyone will ask questions. So, yeah. So those are my ratings. Pretty brutal as well. It's a poor game. Really boring to watch, kind of. I mean, we missed quite a few chances, but it's just, as the game kept going, I was like, we're not going to win this game, are we? I kept thinking, what is, I never want, I knew we we're going to lose it, but I never once felt like confident we're going to win.
The funny thing that by 60th minute, I zoned out of the game.
Yep. It's not, it wasn't fun. Fun to watch it all. But anyways, next game, Champions League game against Inter on Tuesday. I hope that Mikel wasn't trying to rest Saka for that game. We don't need that game. It's also important. But and then after that, a big game now, a bigger game than it should be against Man U on the weekend. And luckily
we need to deflate. We need to deflate
home.
That their new manager bounce.
I know. Luckily, we're home. But they're going to be pretty. They're going to be riding a pretty high wave when they come over. So we need to peg them back quickly. And I would argue, you could rest players for Inter and throw them all at Man U, because after that we're playing Carriot in Champions League.
We're playing Inter in San Siro.
Yes.
Honestly, I don't mind if we lose that game.
I don't care what happens in that game. That's the point.
I don't care. So rest some players and let them be ready for Man U.
Yeah, because that Man U game is gonna be it's gonna be a big one, ultimately. And I just think there's no reason I would rest Saka for that, So it really bothers me that he didn't start the game or he didn't come on earlier. But the good thing is that in this instance, I think we played before City or after City. Hold on. When is City playing? City is playing on the Monday, maybe? They played on Friday? What's going on here? City is playing. Actually, no, we're playing after City. They play Saturday, we play Sunday. And they're playing Wolves. So it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, they're going to win that game.
Yep, for sure. But anyways, let us know your thoughts on that game. Vent about how terrible it was. And we will reconvene on Arsenal in Your Mind. We might do a Champions League one, but I doubt it. I think we'll just kind of wait for the Man U game and kind of do our next pod after that. We've had a busy week of shooting pods already.
All right, keep Arsenal on your mind.
All right, guys. Next time.
It was a let down today, but it's okay. We move.
We move. 7 points clear.
All right.
Under floodlights, the fans align. In red and white, they always shine. With every pass, it feels divine. Arsenal's on my mind. From hybrid days to Emirates grand, each match a symphony perfectly planned. With every goal we take our stand, Arsenal's on my mind. Oh Arsenal, you never fail through rain and sun, our steadfast sail.